Hello, Vsauce here. Is learning fun? No, just joking. Anyways, today we're going to be watching 15 minutes of useless information. Useless information to me seems to be the funnest ones the ones that I remember the most, but we're going to watch it anyways.
Video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Squarespace.
A year ago today, I released one of my most popular videos, a solid 10 minutes of useless information.
Okay.
Of the over 40
I've never seen
videos
that
I've
one.
released since then, it remains the one thing that people continually request a follow-up to. I don't know why. Think of all the productive things you could be doing instead of watching a video like this.
Think about it. I mean, for me, it's kind
Alright, let's
of
get to
nothing.
it.
It's like 10 at night. I could be sleeping, I guess. But is
The
extra
study of the
15 minutes
relative
gonna
spatial arrangement
is extra 15 minutes gonna really make a difference?
of atoms that form the structure of molecules is called stereochemistry.
Okay.
The average calorie count in a single serving of Peter Pan creamy peanut butter
Peter Pan.
is 210.
I've never heard of that brand before.
In the year 2014, Vizio
Wait, that's actually pretty low.
45,000 E-Series 39-inch and 42-inch television sets, which sold for between $370 and $450. The problem? The television stands had a tendency to snap.
Okay.
Telephone numbers in Kazakhstan are under a unified numbering plan with Russia and use the country
Oh.
calling code 7. According to
Okay.
a study based on 2010
Our one is
census
like
data,
plus
Lubbock,
62.
Texas is the most boring city in America, while Detroit, Michigan consistently places number 1 by various outlets as the most dangerous. For those interested, Google Maps estimates it's about a 22-hour drive to or from if you're wanting to avoid toll roads. John L. Sullivan was a 19th century Irish-American boxer recognized as the last heavyweight champion of bare-knuckle boxing under the London prize ring rules and was affectionately known as the Boston Strong Boy. The Taming of the
Strong
Shrew is a
Boy.
comedy by William Shakespeare believed to have been written between
Comedy.
1590 and 1592. In the United States, the first major radio
better get asked
adaptation,
these
a
questions
45-minute version by
in a
John
random quiz.
Barrymore, was aired in 1937 on the NBC Blue Network. The Spring of Khosrow was an ancient Persian carpet that allegedly covered 40,000 square feet. This is a shag area rug that is
40,000
available at most
square
Walmart
feet.
supercenters. It
Yo,
covers
that's
35
huge.
feet and can be purchased for the retail price of $38.88.
That's like the distance
One
from
of the
here to the
oldest
city.
typefaces still in regular
No,
use
that's
is
double.
Garamond, which originated around the year 1530 and to this day is still widely used in book printing.
Kinda half,
This
half.
stock footage clip is entitled "Farming Tractor Carrying a Load Haystacks Driving Along an Open Field at Sunset" and was produced by freelance videographer Christian Kettner. It has a total runtime
they
of
use a
30
drone,
seconds, but we'll
or-
cut it short because I think it'll help the overall pacing of this video.
I've
Lewis
seen this
Wilson
stock
was the
image
first
so much
actor
times.
to play Batman on screen in a
Lewis
1943
Wilson.
black and white 15-chapter theatrical serial from Columbia Pictures. Crying usually gives you a runny nose because excess tears produced by your lacrimal glands flow into your tear ducts and drain into your nasal cavity. The first
Oh, I never knew
expedition to
that.
reach the South Pole was led by a Norwegian explorer named Roald Amundsen. On December 14th,
How close
1911,
is-
he beat a British party led by explorer Robert Falcon Scott, who would arrive 5 weeks later.
Wow.
The Canon AE-1 is one of the most reliable 35mm film cameras in the world.
This is an
It
ad?
has a small battery compartment in the front, and it's used to power the camera's light meter. The Bald Knobbers is the longest running variety show in the tourist town of Branson, Missouri. Doorknobs were first manufactured in the United States in the mid-19th century. Simon Says is a children's game for 3 or more players in which one player issues instructions to the other players which are to be followed only if specific permission
If
has
Simon
been
Says.
given with
I
the
remember
preface,
seeing
Simon Says.
Simon
If an
Says,
action
but in
without
Call
this
of Duty.
preface is performed by a player, they are eliminated from the game. A A similar permission game is Mother May I, which adds the game mechanic of stepping forward or backward to a finish line. Rather than being eliminated for a mistake, in Mother May I, a player simply takes a step backward and is allowed to continue playing until one player crosses the threshold. Canadian geese have an average lifespan of anywhere from 10.
The funniest group type of game I played was, I think it was Chinese Whispers. It was hilarious.
10 to 24 years.
Like when the message gets to the end, it's just completely different.
This is Alan Shepard at age 47.
Like, I don't know. It's just this thing telling you to change. Like, yo, change it.
Then he became the fifth, the oldest, and the earliest born person to walk on the moon. During his mission, he hit 2 golf balls across the lunar surface.
Why?
In 2003, New Zealand issued 50-cent pieces featuring Frodo, Gandalf, Gollum, Sauron, and Aragorn to celebrate the Lord of the Rings motion picture trilogy.
That's
By
pretty
the same
good.
token, the St. Louis Browns were a Major League Baseball team that started as the Milwaukee Brewers. In 1906, they moved to St. Louis and played there for 52 years before relocating to Baltimore and changing their name to the Orioles. While friendly, Cocker Spaniels tend to have the most health issues out of the various dog breeds.
I thought it was
a
Pitbull.
wide variety of orthopedic issues and are also prone to heart disease.
I thought it was the pug was the one that has like crazy, what's the word, medical issues. I never knew it was this. This is not actually useless. It's useful. Like, if I want to get a dog, I know to avoid the pug and this.
Liver
for medical reasons.
Disease and epilepsy. For a richer flavor when making cookies, try chilling your dough for a few hours before baking. It helps the moisture and fat spread evenly throughout the dough as it bakes, and it'll give your cookies a nice soft center.
Doesn't cookie dough comes in
SM58. It's a professional cardioid
tube
dynamic microphone usually used in live vocal performances. It's the best-selling microphone in the world and is also known as one of the most dependable ever made. Seriously, you can like run it over with a truck and it'll still work. While shooting this video, I accidentally dropped it. That explains the dent. It's okay though, because I bought this replacement, which evidently causes cancer and reproductive harm when used in California. The Department of Transportation recommends that yellow lights should be programmed to last between 3 and 6 seconds. This is a doodle I received from a guy named Ethan in Williamsville, New York, depicting me surrounded by a flood of letters sent to me from viewers after I recently opened a P.O. box. 2 weeks in, and I have to say, he was right on the money. The Little Drummer Boy was a top 40 hit every December from the years 1958 to 1962. Yamaha Drums is a subsidiary of the Yamaha Corporation, founded in 1967.
Don't they make
manufacture
boats,
acoustic and electric drum kits, including the Yamaha Phoenix, which currently retails for over $3,000 United States dollars. In the pre-World War II era, gas stations had poor lighting conditions. Gas pumps included lighted globes on top so drivers could recognize various gas brands while driving at night. George Lucas's very first movie was a 1-minute animated short called Look at Life. You can find a great breakdown of it from an occasionally pretentious YouTuber using the link in this video's description.
Self-promotion.
Pressing and holding the space bar while using the iPhone's keyboard is a great way to quickly navigate to a specific place in a large body of text. Most Drano products are not recommended for use in toilets, as the heat generated from the chemical reaction can crack the porcelain used for the toilet bowl, or soften and cause major leaks in the PVC used in most pipes. Also, for those curious, PVC stands for polyvinyl chloride. Just throwing that out there. Lincoln Logs, the children's toy that consists of square-notched miniature logs used to build small forts and other structures, were invented around the year 1916 by John Lloyd Wright, who was the second son of the well-known architect Frank Lloyd Wright. Prepackaged salads tend to keep in most refrigerators for about 3 to 5 days, and the average chiropractor visit in the United States can range from $34 to $106 depending on where you live. The most expensive Beanie Baby ever sold at auction was this Purple Princess Bear, a special edition created to raise money for the Diana...
I'm not gonna lie, purple item seems to be selling like for a lot, like the purple what's it called? Black Lotus. It's called Black Lotus, but it's kind of purple, and it's sold for a lot.
Princess of Wales.
Anything that's purple is going to be expensive, given time. I bet Prince guitar is pretty expensive too.
Memorial Fund following her untimely death. It snagged $10,000, and another one is currently listed on eBay with an asking price of over $600,000. The National Weather Service will occasionally issue both tornado watches and tornado warnings. What's the difference? A tornado watch can last for up to 6 hours and means tornadic storms are possible in the area. During that time frame, it is advisable to make shelter preparations.
Feels like it's the first time I've heard tornadic.
It means that a tornado has either been observed or detected in an area, and shelter needs to be taken immediately. These can last for up to an hour. You aren't just getting bigger, the candy is getting smaller. Shrinkflation is the seedy practice of subtly reducing the size of a product while keeping or raising its original price. In 2010, Kraft reduced its 200.
If they shrunk the candy and lowered the price, it'll be fine, but doing both? That's a no-no. I'm all for it. Like, just nobody should be eating the entire thing.
100-gram Toblerone bar to 170 grams. In March 2014, Coca-Cola reduced the size of their 2-liter bottles to 1.75 liters. What are you going to do about it? Along the same lines, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is a 1989 comedy film starring Rick Moranis, one of my favorite actors. Fast Travel, a video game mechanic where a player's character can instantly warp between two previously discovered locations without having to move between them in real time, was likely first introduced in 1981's Ultima, originally released for the Apple II. To this day, it continues to be a controversial game mechanic that, although convenient, often robs players of a game world's sense of scale and an element of realism in open-world quests. Silhouette animation is a variant of cutout animation in which the characters are backlit and only visible as silhouettes. For an example, you can see the 2000 French motion picture Princes et Princesses, or this video I produced in 2019 on how to survive a bear attack. A philanthropist is a person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, typically by generously donating money to good causes. A philanderer is a man who frequently enters into flings with various women without ever committing.
Oh, is Ned Flanders
to a serious relationship. It is very important not to get these two words confused. The first Super Bowl was played on January 15th, 1967 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers. Nobody at the time realized how big the game would become over the years, so both NBC and CBS wiped the videotapes of the broadcast. A complete recording of the game was thought to be lost until January 11th, 2016, when the NFL announced they had combed the earth and recovered footage of all 145 plays from various sources. This found footage was meticulously stitched together, and the game was finally re-aired in its entirety 49 years after the original broadcast. Who cares who won? Moving on. No is one of the oldest theater traditions in the world, originating in 14th century Japan. A highly rigid and traditional art, it gave birth to kabuki, a much more lively and flamboyant variant featuring contemporary stories and exciting fight scenes. Until the 1680s, real weapons were used in its sword fights. Available in this video's description is a kabuki adaptation of the new Star Wars trilogy, and I highly recommend you take the time to watch it. It is estimated that windmills kill about 328,000 birds per year. There are only 2 bathrooms on the internet.
I knew that fact because I was researching energy efficient stuff.
National Space.
But apparently they're solving the solution of windmills killing birds by painting one of the blades black, and it's been shown to work.
Birds.
Plus, if that works, just do it. It's not stopping the wind flow or anything, it's just a different color.
Per year. There are only 2 bathrooms on the International Space Station. The urine of both the crew members and the station's lab animals is filtered back into the drinking water supply. Wild Bill Curry was one of the
Yeah,
first
I'm not gonna be an
professional wrestlers
astronaut
to
anytime
use a
soon.
folding chair in the ring. The first text message
Jokes.
was
I couldn't
sent
if
on
I wanted
December
to anyways.
3rd,
I think it's too late for that.
1992. The average person has about 10,000 taste buds, most of which are replaced every 2 weeks or so. In his younger years, Herbert Hoover lived in China with his wife, developing gold mines on behalf of the Chinese Engineering and Mining
That's the
Company.
vacuum guy,
While
right?
there, the couple learned how to speak the native language. Years later, when he served as the 31st president of the United States, the couple could have private conversations in
different.
Mandarin without fear of anyone eavesdropping. Sprinkles
Wow.
last for about 3 to 5 years after the Best By date stamped on the container. Of the
Do they have any nutritional value?
413,752 votes cast in the 1926 Nebraska gubernatorial election,
Nebraska.
7 were for write-in candidates. Over a 78.5-year lifetime, the average person will use 656 bars of soap. The 2017-2018 model of the popular Titleist Pro V1 golf ball has 352 dimples. Starting with iOS 7,
352.
the iPhone's clock icon became animated to reflect the current time. An average of 21 games were released every day in the year 2017 through Steam, a video game digital distribution service by the company
Okay, that's actually
Valve.
less.
For
Oh no,
those
by the
interested,
company
it was
Valve.
45 degrees Fahrenheit at 6:31 p.m. in Tokyo, Japan on March 13, 2003. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, most car accidents occur between 3 and 6 p.m. due to the high volume of vehicles on the road. Saturday
Makes
is
sense.
considered the most dangerous day of the week to drive.
Also makes
the Columbia
sense.
Pictures film To Sir with Love was the 6th highest grossing movie of 1967. Speaking of which, the planet Jupiter has
Jupiter.
67 confirmed and named moons. The New York Knicks had a record of 43 and 39 in the 1967-68 season. They finished third in the NBA's Eastern Division. About 14.5 billion spam emails are sent every single day.
By
They
who?
account for 45% of total emails, and they usually generate one reply for every 12.5 million sent. The bicycle was invented in 1817. On February 7th of that same year, Baltimore became the first American city lit by gas street lamps.
It's
After
lit.
both players take a single turn in a game of chess, there are
Chess.
400 possible board setups. After the second
Okay.
pair of turns, the number increases to 197,742. And after 3 turns, the number increases to 121 million. The Polaroid Corporation hit its peak revenue with $3 billion
Lady Gaga. What does she know about cameras?
United States dollars in the year 1991. Mississippi's state flower is the magnolia, and
down below if you
last
know what
but
that
not
came from,
least,
the
an
reference.
official survey conducted by the company Crayola in both the years 1999 and 2000, the most popular Crayola color was
Brown?
blue.
Oh.
6 other shades of blue finished in the top 10, including cerulean, midnight
Cerulean,
blue, aquamarine,
aqua, yeah.
periwinkle, denim, and blizzard blue.
Periwinkle.
I hope that was everything you've ever dreamed
Periwinkle.
of. Maybe you like my channel, maybe you hate it, but never tell anybody that I never taught you anything. Here's some information that is worth knowing. Do you want to build a website? Then you need to check out this video's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace provides you an easy way to quickly set up your own beautiful website. You start by selecting from one of their many awesome customizable templates, and then
Well, that was some useless information. Squarespace, I guess, if you want to use it. I think I've used, not Squarespace, but Wix, 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 to make a website, and it was just there. Anyways,